Hello everyone, Bear here, and today we're going to be talking about some of the huge changes that could be coming to Cyrodiil, and they're pretty crazy. So let's hop right into it. So at this point in the game's life, basically it has become a meme that Cyrodiil just runs really badly, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And without reading this word for word, what they basically say is that part of their ongoing performance optimizations and all of their analytics they've been studying and, analyzing Cyrodiil, what they have come to find out is that basically players are doing way too many abilities way too fast, and the server cannot calculate all of it, and especially in Cyrodiil when there's so much going on at the same time. When the game first came out and everybody was new and nobody could sustain this old global cooldown of 1 second on abilities worked. Currently, it doesn't work because people can sustain and do so many more abilities now that the server just can't handle it anymore. When the game first came out, if you were doing your puncturing sweeps or whatever it's called, you could do it like 4 or 5 times before your stamina went out, maybe even less than that. And how it currently is with, so many regions and new potions and different sets and synergies, someone who could normally do like 5 abilities in a row can now do 25 or 35 abilities in a row, or maybe even more, with all of this different stuff going off. And basically, they never run out of resources, and that means the server never gets a break. They constantly have to just calculate more and more stuff, and it's just making the game lag ridiculously bad. With all that being said, they are targeting AoEs and how they work. So when you cast an AoE, it targets a specific area on the map, typically around the player, or maybe somewhere else, and it has to find targets, it performs the abilities, and each one of those steps basically requires tons of server calculations. It has to do like the trajectory of the throw, it has to do the damage, it has to do the mitigation, if it applies a dot, if it applies a snare. It has to do everything. So at launch, Cyrodiil's processes were able to keep up with the number of AoEs cast because players just couldn't cast that many. They ran out of magic, they ran out of stamina, and the game could keep up with that and account for that. So now, the game can't handle that anymore. Someone who could throw 5 caltrops can now do 25 caltrops, and the server has to account for that. So what they're going to be doing here is some testing, which is really cool. So, starting the week of August 24th, they will be running a series of tests on the live PC servers, both NA and EU, only in Cyrodiil. So they say here, please note that we will not be running these tests on any console servers. Each test should take about a week, but if needed, they will extend the time of testing. Starting the week of August 24th, on the PC, NA, and EU servers, we're going to be seeing some live testing on what they have decided to do with these AoEs in Cyrodiil. So they have some tests that they want to run, and they have them right here. So let's hop right into them and see what you guys are going to be working with. Test 1 is going to add a shared global AoE cooldown of 3 seconds. So basically what this means is that when you cast an AoE, you will not be able to cast another one for 3 seconds. They have an example here saying, as a Templar, if I cast Ritual of Retribution, I wouldn't be able to cast Puncturing Sweeps for 3 seconds. I can already say without a doubt, Test 1 is going to be a complete mess, and people will absolutely hate it. But it's just a test. Next up with Test 2, we have individual AoE cooldowns of 3 seconds. So this means that when you cast an AoE, you will not be able to cast the same AoE ability for 3 seconds. For example, as a Templar, if I cast Puncturing Sweeps, I would not be able to cast Puncturing Sweeps again for 3 seconds. Now this one, I still think it would ruin the combat in the ESO, but it is definitely a better alternative than week 1, because week 1 is going to suck. It's going to be really bad. This one right here is the one that I agree with the most, and that is Test 3. So there is no cooldown at all, but a global ramping AoE cost. This test adds a global ramping AoE cost for each AoE cast, similar to how Streak and Dodge Roll works. And basically, if they wanted, or if they absolutely had to do one of these tests and implement it into the game, I would be fine with this one. I have been harping on about how Nightblades need their cloak to like double in cost each time they use it, because I am so sick of people just being able to spam cloak or spam snipe without any repercussion whatsoever. It's incredibly annoying. So I would be completely fine if there was a global ramping AoE cost, like, you know, how they do the debuff for 5 seconds. This one, honestly, if they added this, I feel like it would be a benefit to the game, because it's just, it doesn't allow that crap anymore where you just spam one stupid thing. And then finally, we have test 4. This is the individual AoE cooldown 3-second timer plus the global ramping AoE cost. This combines test 2 and 3 together, and they want to see how that's going to work out. Personally, I think test 4 is a little bit of an overkill, but we got to test it, give them feedback, and we got to see how this all plays out. But anyway, guys, I am excited to see what actually happens with these tests. I want to see all of the community feedback. I want to see how people adapt their play styles and all that good stuff. And maybe, who knows, if they add these different cooldowns and stuff, maybe it'll make PvP a less laggy, more enjoyable experience. I don't know, though. ESO PvP is all about the fluidity of it, being able to cast however much you want and dodge roll however much you want. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see how people play. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to subscribe. I post more ESO stuff. I do builds and I review patch notes. I do Fallout stuff where I do the same thing. And I just talk about any game that generally piques my interest. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.